trust me, your brain doesn't know the difference between somebody yelling at you or you thinking negative thoughts to you, you yelling at yourself. You have to check your internal self-talk. This is such a big, big, big blocker from love. Why? Because if your subconscious is always walking around hearing negative thoughts, Annabelle, oh, you're so dumb, you're so lazy, oh, what, you procrastinate so much, why don't you ever work out, you eat like crap, da, da, da. Let's say I think these things about myself. If I think these things about myself, it's like I'm in an abusive relationship. Okay, it's like my subconscious thinks you are always around really negative people. Lo and behold, it's me. I am the negative person, and I'm the one saying these really negative things to myself. Well, what I start believing is you can have these thoughts like, dang, I'm really mean to myself. I'm really negative to myself. So if you believe that you are a negative person, you're not going to want to put yourself in a relationship because you think nobody want me because I'm a negative person. Do you see how it just becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy? And welcome back to this week's video. As you know, I am a feminine leadership coach, and I help women understand what parts of themselves, what beliefs that they have about themselves are creating blocks against love and attracting a man that they really want and the kind of relationship that they really want. And I believe that the reason you don't have what you want is always because there's internal beliefs that are conflicting. You can want something externally and desire something in your life consciously. More money, be a size 2, be in a great relationship with a certain type of man, get married, start your own business, make, $100,000 a month. That's my goal. And whatever it is. But if you don't have it yet, or you're not on your way and it's not happening, the only reason it's not happening externally is because you have your internal reality isn't matching it. And so why do I say that? Because as without, so within. As within, so without. What that means is God made us so amazing. And He made us creators just like Him, right? We're made in His image. And He said, you guys are made just like me. We can speak things into existence. And we can't really specifically speak things into existence, but I believe we can believe things into existence. And because we are creators, what God says is whatever you believe is possible, you can have it. Operative word being believe. Not whatever you want, you can have it. Here's the difference. The world, God doesn't, it's not that I don't want to say God doesn't care, but it's not about what you want, it's about what you believe, because your belief systems are your programming that always create your external reality. Here's why. We have this wonderful thing in our internal system called the reticular activating system. It's in your brain. And the RAS, what it is, it's like a filter. It's like a mental filter. And because your subconscious picks up 40 million bits of information per second, guys, it processes 40 million bits of information per second, whereas your conscious mind processes 40 bits of information per second. It's so slow. This is fast. Your subconscious catches everything that's going on. This is why oftentimes people can get like hypnotized, go into a deep sleep, and they can get asked about something that happened like 10 years ago, and they can define it very clearly because you may not have conscious memory of it, but your subconscious does. Okay. And so your reticular activating system, the reason it filters out, what it does is it filters out information for the stuff that's most important. What's most important? The things that align with your self-identity, with what you believe in, what you need, because whatever you believe about yourself is what your life will always look like, no matter what. So whatever you believe is possible, whatever you believe is safe to have, whatever you believe is beneficial for you and is good for your life, your brain will allow you to have it. It will see things as safe and not a threat. Why? Because your brain is always trying to keep you safe. It's always trying to keep you alive. It wants to seek out pleasure, avoid pain, and take the road of least resistance. One of the ways that it takes the road of least resistance is your RAS, your brain, creates habits. It creates automatic habits, right? It creates neural pathways. The things that you do a lot, it says, let's remember that, because Anabell always remembers, always like thanks God for everything, right? She's always really grateful. And so whenever whenever something happens, I'm always like, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so my brain already knows like I believe that everything that I receive, it's always because of God. So I always know to thank God. I'm always really grateful. I never believe that it's because of me. I believe that whatever I believe and I desire, God always gives us the desires of our heart, right? Mind you, if I believe that the desire that I have for my heart is I'm worthy of it, God says you will have it, right? Why? Because God only gives us what we can manage. God is a God of process and of stewardship. I believe when you operate from the kingdom mindset, I believe when you operate from like the kingdom of God. I'm Christian, I'm a believer. Many of you guys know that already. And I believe that in the kingdom of God, and it's a commonwealth, right? And the king, everything belongs to the king, but you guys can use, the king lets you use everything. It's all his, but you can use it. So I want you to think of it like this. Imagine God says, hey, Anabell, you are my daughter. You live in my kingdom. You belong to the kingdom of God, to heaven. Here's an American Express black card. It's mine. Okay. It's in the account of God, but your name is on it. So you can use it and use it however you want it. And I'm like, great. How dope. It's in my name, right? My name is on it, but you could see that it's God's account. So why is that? Because God always wants us to revere him and look at him as the creator and as the source. He is the source of everything. I believe that. I'm not dumb enough and crazy enough to think that I created myself, that there was a big bang, that everything I get, it's out of my power. Nope. Everything is God's. He gives it to me. And if I take care of it, if I steward it, he says, oh, Anabell, you can manage that. Whatever you steward well and take care of, I'm going to give you more of it. And this confirms a lot of the stories in the Bible, right? Jesus, I love the book of Matthew. All the Sermon on the Mount, like all his sermon, or specifically that sermon, all the stories and parables that he talks about. He always talks. I think the first thing out of his mouth was it repent, for the kingdom of God is near? I think it was. And basically what he was saying is change your mind because you have to, because so you can go to heaven, right? And stop living the way you guys are living, because right now you guys are living in sin, but you have to change your ways and die of yourself and let that go, and then come to the kingdom. And then so the whole Sermon on the Mount is explaining stories to describe to you what the kingdom of God is like, right? And so he talks one specific story he talks about there's actually several, and he uses money a lot as analogies. And he says the kingdom of God is like a master who leaves on a trip, and he gives his servants money, and he based on their ability to manage it. To one servant he gives 5, to one servant he gives 4, 2, and 1. Based not because like he just favored one over the other. It was, if you can manage 5, like let's say John can manage 5. He was like, you know how to manage money really well. I'm going to give you 5, and then take care of it. And then when I come back, we'll talk about what you did with the money. And then you sometimes it's not so perfect, but I'll give you 4. And I'm just going to give you 2 because I haven't really seen that you can manage 2, and you just get 1. And I believe that this is synonymous to how God is, right? He says everything that you want, everything that you desire, everything that you believe that you can manage, I'm going to give it to you, right? And I'm going to see if you can manage it. If you can manage it, meaning you feel confident using it, you multiply it, you take care of the resource, God will always give us more. God is a God of stewardship. He looks for our ability to manage. Why? He doesn't want to give you more than you can manage, right? So whenever I'm going through something, I always say, if it's hard, I'm like, this is hard for me, like mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever it is. But I always think to myself, God would not give it to me if he didn't think I can manage it. He thinks I can manage it, so I can manage this, I can get through it, right? conversely, or not conversely, similarly, but maybe the opposite, I think when he doesn't give me something, let's say I want a husband, I want to get married. If I don't have it yet, I think, oh, God hasn't given me a marriage yet because he's working on me, because I still need to turn into or become the woman that can manage and steward that beautiful gift of marriage and a wonderful man, especially the type of man that I want, right? That I desire, that I believe I'm worthy of. I haven't received it, not because I don't deserve it or because he doesn't think I can, but he's still working on me, right? I have to work up to that stewardship level. So when that black card, I want you to consider that when you don't have something that you want down here, something that you desire, it's not because God doesn't think you're worthy of it. It's because you haven't shown proof of your ability to a belief that you can handle it, that you can deserve it. I mean, that you can, not that you could deserve it, but that you can manage it, that you can grow it, that you can steward it well, right? That's my belief. And listen, this belief serves me well. Whenever I don't have something, again, I don't look at it like, oh my God, I'm a bad person. I used to. Trust me, I used to. Now I'm very much, I definitely come from the mindset of, oh, it's just because God's working something out, but it's on its way because God knows that I want it, and I'm working on I always think, what am I doing that's creating the belief in my mind to make me feel like I can't handle it yet, and I always find the beliefs. Okay, so let's go back to what I was talking about when it comes to receive or having the reality that you want and your reticular activating system. God made us so wonderful where he says, you're just like me. You can have whatever you believe that you deserve or that you can manage. If you have faith that you can manage it, that you deserve it, I will give it to you, right? And then once you have it, I really believe God watches us to make sure that we can handle it well. And if we can't, we will lose it. God prunes things away if we can't handle it, right? And so our brain, he made our brains so amazing, right? So our reticular activating system, when I say that, what's external is what's internal. Your reticular activating system is such that whatever you're focused on is what you will create in your reality, externally, right? Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're feeling about these things, you will start seeing it in your reality. Why? Because your brain says, whatever I am, whatever my identity is, I'm a good person. So good things happen to me if I'm a good person, right? I'm a bad person. Bad things happen to me if I'm a bad person. I'm a victim. I will get victimized by people, right? I'm abundant. Money always comes to me. I always get a lot of money, right? I have this belief that I always get great parking spaces everywhere I go. Like I always park really close to wherever I'm going, or I always park wherever I desire. Like sometimes I want to walk far and I'm like, I want to get a parking space. So I always find the parking space that I want. This happens not on accident. It's because I believe that I have good parking lot beliefs. I don't know, whatever it is, right? Energy. So I always get great parking. Like I will always get, I'll go to our outdoor mall where I live and I'll always get great parking inside the mall. I never have to park on the outside of the mall. Because I believe that I'm somebody who always gets great parking. And so I always do, right? So what does this have to do with love and men and all the work that I do with women? It's important to look at what is inside of you, your subconscious beliefs. Why? Because your subconscious beliefs, your heart, your mind, your will, your emotions, whatever's in there, your subconscious is the program that your body uses to create whatever is in here. It creates the external reality. It always has to match. That's how God works. He's like, I don't lie. Whatever you are inside is whatever you'll get. Whatever you believe, I will give it to you. That's just God is always a God that keeps his word, right? And so if you have a desire in your heart and you haven't created it yet, let's say you've been waiting for years. If you've been waiting years for something, the only reason you don't have it is externally in your reality is because you have internal beliefs in your subconscious that are contradictory to having it. So if you think I want a husband, if you don't have a husband, if you don't have a boyfriend, if you're not having relationships that are creating committed relationship, like a marriage, it's only because you have some beliefs that make you think that a marriage is bad for you, right? I said a couple things. It's not possible for you. So a marriage marriage isn't possible for me, right? It's not safe to have, or it's not beneficial. Like it's not good for you. It can hurt you in some capacity. So when I work with my clients, I have to say, I really believe that I am really, really skilled at helping women identify and find any of the limiting beliefs that they have that are keeping them from the thing that they want. Always. I've trained in a subconscious transformation modality that literally it's the belief change modality. It helps you find deep hidden beliefs that are negative and that are keeping you from having the reality that you want. So, but there's 3 different types of beliefs that you really need to focus on. Two really specifically, but when it comes to relationship, there's 3 that I believe that are really important that you have to focus on. The first one is your beliefs about yourself. So your self-identity, who you believe you are. If you believe that you're somebody who deserves love, who is good at love, who is worthy of marriage, who is really good at relationships, then you will have relationships. Okay. So, however, that's probably the biggest one that I focus on. Is I'm always looking at what are your beliefs, your self-concept beliefs, your self-identity beliefs. These are beliefs that I want you to think of that start with like, I am. So I am loving. I am a good woman. I am a good girlfriend. I am, and then there's I'm not, I deserve, I want. There's different beliefs that you have, and there's a structure that I've created myself called the belief change framework that that I've created so that to help you find the beliefs that you have, especially the sneaky ones that are keeping you from creating love in your life. Okay, so that's the first one, is self-identity. This is the one that probably will keep love from you the most, is beliefs that you have about yourself. So we got to clean it up and get rid of any that make it so that you believe that love isn't possible for you, love isn't safe to have, right? Or relationship isn't safe to have, or it's not beneficial, like it's not going to last, or it's going to be a lot of work or whatever, right? So I find that a lot of women hold the beliefs that I see a lot of women having is that I'm not worthy of love. I'm not a good person. I'm mean. So if you think about this, if you believe that you're not a good person, if you believe that you're mean, if you believe that you are negative or unworthy or unlovable, you won't put yourself in a situation where you give yourself or connect with somebody else. Why? Because you'll think, I don't want to hurt that person because I'm actually a liability. I'm a menace to society. I used to believe this. Last year I went through a deep what I would call definitely a depression when my divorce was finally finalized in 2004. That paper, literally getting that court document from, I'll never forget, it was in April of last year of 2024. When my life changed in 2024, I was so depressed. That finalization of my divorce made me believe that I'm a bad person. I'm a failure. I'm unworthy of love. I hurt my children. I'm unlovable. I mean, so many negative thoughts. So you have to be very conscious of, if you believe that you yourself are a liability, you will never let yourself get into a relationship with someone that you think is amazing, because you'll think, I'm going to subject them to a really bad negative person like me. They don't deserve that. That's bad. So you sabotage your relationships because you won't put yourself out there, because you're like, nobody's going to want me. I'm a bad person. I'm just going to hurt people if I do that, right? So if you believe you're somebody, I hurt people, or I'm mean, I make mistakes, I'm a cheater. If you've cheated and you haven't forgiven yourself for it, you have to find these beliefs and understand where they were formed and get rid of them out of your subconscious and replace them with positive beliefs. So I'm going to explain how to do that. I do this in my coaching program, in the Open Heart Blueprint in Segura, but I want to explain to you the other beliefs that are so important. So most importantly, the beliefs you have about yourself, you need to know what they are. If you think bad things about yourself, especially when it comes to relationships, you will not you will sabotage getting in a relationship, because your brain won't think that it's possible to even create a great relationship if you are one of the ingredients in a relationship. So what's another ingredient in a relationship? A man, right? And listen, I'm a Christian woman. I believe in women relationships. I believe women are with men. So the other ingredient in a relationship is a man. These are the other beliefs that you need to focus on and see what you believe about men. If you believe men are liars, men are cheaters, they hurt me, they don't want relationships, all they want is sex, they're not masculine, they're going to make my life bad, whatever. If you need to find the beliefs about men, we don't want to focus on the positive ones. The positive ones are good. These are how, like, I want a relationship with a man. Obviously, that's a good one, right? That's a conscious thought you have. But if you have negative beliefs about men, your body will not let you go to them. Why? Because men are a threat. If men are cheaters and liars and non-committal, your body will say, no, that's not a safe place for us to go. We're not going to go in a relationship, and it'll sabotage it. No matter what you desire, your brain your brain won't let you get into a relationship with a man because it sees men as bad, right? As negative. So you have to know what beliefs you have about men. Find them, understand when and how they were formed when you first believed in them. Get rid of them and replace them with positive beliefs, okay? And then the third important part of beliefs that you need to have or find to see if they're blocking you from love are beliefs about love and relationships, okay? If you want to get married, all my clients want to get married. Most of my clients are believers. They're followers of Christ. We believe in the beautiful covenant of marriage, and we want to marry a man and stay married forever. We don't want to get divorced, right? And even my clients who have gotten divorced, they want to get married again and they want to stay married, right? Nobody wants to fail at it and wants a failed relationship and start over. So you have to get clear on your beliefs about relationships. If there's any sneaky beliefs in there that relationships, again, if they're not possible, if they don't last, if they're not safe to have, if they're not beneficial, your brain is not going to let you have it. It'll say, no, that's negative. It doesn't help us. It's just going to hurt us. Remember, your brain's always like seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, taking the road of least resistance. If it brings us pain, we're not doing it. Your brain will put a full stop. And I always say it presses on the brake, right? Your conscious mind wants it. Your subconscious doesn't. It won't let you have it. You're going to be in what I call, what's it called? Neutral, when you're pressing on the gas and the brake, you get stuck. That is the worst feeling. You feel I always say, like, I feel crazy when I want one thing and desire and do another. It's frustrating, right? And so you need to find, the negative beliefs that you have about love or about relationships. So you might think, love is hard to have. Love is hard to create. Men don't love, relationships don't last. They always end in divorce. Relationships always have somebody that cheats. They're a lot of work. If you have a relationship, they take you away from your business. If you have beliefs in there that don't support the life that you want, your brain will not let you have it. Your subconscious will say, full stop, we're not doing it. So why am I talking about this, and why is this important? Because in order to create an external reality, create results that you want in your life, whether it's a lot of money, whether it's losing weight, whether it's, being a size 2, whether it's making, again, $100,000 a month in your business, or launching your business, or being really confident and dressing a certain way, or starting your business, whatever it is. If you have been trying and trying and trying to get it and doing things, and even specifically if you've been going to therapy, praying, doing all kinds of healing work, and you've been doing dating strategies and going on dating apps, and it's not happening, especially when it comes to love, I guarantee there are deep subconscious negative beliefs that are blocking you from that external result that you want. There's so many different ways of finding negative beliefs. I call them like blocks, negative beliefs, right? Or limiting beliefs, because they limit you from experiencing they keep you at a certain limit, and they don't let you have the result that you want, the life that you want. And you have to find them, because they're like viruses. I want you to think of it like they're literal viruses in your body that are keeping and they're creating big guards around your heart, and they're keeping you guarded so that you don't get to experience the thing that you want, because it sees that result as bad. It sees it as unsafe. And so those beliefs need to get found and removed. I believe that I've created such a crazy, fast, valuable, what's the word I'm looking for? Effective, framework. It's called the Open Heart Blueprint. And it's how to remove the blocks around your heart so that you can finally access love and give that love to men. Because for a lot of you, what your past experiences and these deep beliefs have made you do is they've made you guard your heart, because you believe that either you're a liability and you're bad and you're not lovable or worthy of having relationships. And so it says, let's just guard our heart and not feel love, because your brain now associates feeling love with the pending doom of heartbreak or loss or abandonment, rejection, betrayal, neglect, abuse, something, right? And so we need to find those beliefs so that you can open your heart and get, excuse me. We need to find those beliefs so you can get rid of those blocks and open your heart so that you're emotionally available to love and relationships. Here's why. Love is a resource. Love is an energy. It's always flowing. You have all the love access to, you have access to it in your brain and in your body right now. There's nothing keeping you from it other than the beliefs that you have that make you think that it's not a good thing to have, right? Relationships aren't good to have. Where do you feel love? You should be able to feel all the love that you desire right now. Being single, you don't have to be in a relationship in order to feel love. But the amount of love that you feel right now, as let's say you're single, a lot of the women that follow me are single. If you don't believe that you are lovable or that you have love to give, or if you walk around with a lot of negative thoughts in your mind and you're always thinking bad thoughts, your primary emotion that you're probably vibrating or feeling could be anxiety, sadness, anger, shame, distress, frustration, doubt, suspicion. So you're not vibrating at love. And whatever you're vibrating at is what you will always attract. Whatever you bring is what and give to the world is always what you receive back. Okay, always. Because why? Because the world has to, remember, your RAS has to prove you right. You can't be wrong. So if you think, life is so hard, it's so frustrating, I'm always so tired, I'm so like, and you're always saying mean things to yourself, trust me, your brain doesn't know the difference between somebody yelling at you or you thinking negative thoughts to you. You yelling at yourself. You have to check your internal self-talk. This is such a big blocker from love. Why? Because if your subconscious is always walking around hearing negative thoughts, Annabelle, oh, you're so dumb, you're so lazy, oh, what, you procrastinate so much, why don't you ever work out, you eat like crap, Let's say I think these things about myself. If I think these things about myself, it's like I'm in an abusive relationship. Okay. It's like my subconscious thinks you are always around really negative people. Lo and behold, it's me. I'm the negative person, and I'm the one saying these really negative things to myself. Well, what I start believing is you can have these thoughts like, dang, I'm really mean to myself. I'm really negative to myself. So if you believe that you are a negative person, you're not going to want to put yourself in a relationship because you think nobody wants me because I'm a negative person. Do you see how it just becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And so it's so important for you to always be in the vibration of the thing that you want to attract. If you want love, you need to be love right now. If you don't feel love, what you feel is anxiety, anger, depression, frustration, suspicion, doubt, laziness, shame, guilt, anger, whatever, depression, right? Whatever it is that you're feeling, the world, if you have a victim mindset, I think to me, the victim mindset is the worst, because you believe that the world always does things to you and that everyone hates you or that people hurt you. If you think that people hurt you, you will always attract experiences where people hurt you. This is why finding the negative beliefs, especially about men, ladies, I didn't realize I had a lot of negative beliefs about men, but most of my negative beliefs were about me. I had a couple about men, and I had a sneaky one about money. Oh my gosh, this one. Once I found this about 2 months ago, my business is completely transformed. This is why you guys see me on. I'm always on social media now, putting out videos, because I realize it's safe to be out there and talking about my business. For a while there, I didn't realize I had this really sneaky belief that if I make a lot of money, I can't have a man at the same time. And because I wanted a man in a relationship so much, it's like I sabotaged my success and said, because I believed I couldn't have both. Psh, child, that is the biggest lie in the freaking history of life, right? But because I believed you can't have money and a man, and the one that I wanted the most was I guess a man. Money wasn't that big, like that important or level of priority. What my brain says, okay, we want the man more. So the man's more important. We got to get the man, but at the sacrifice of my success, of my business. And I didn't want that to happen. Why? Because women need my work. You guys need my services. I was working with dozens and dozens, hundreds. I mean, I've worked with over like 500, 600 women now. I think probably over 600 women now, and men, mostly women. And because of what I went through last year with my divorce, and I was so depressed and I was literally suicidal, I thought I was a piece of crap. And because I thought I was a piece of crap, I didn't think I had anything valuable to offer the world if I'm a piece of crap. Like, I can't help anybody. Like, I couldn't even help myself and get married and keep my marriage together and restore it and help my kids. So but I did these exercises again. And when I found that one, found it, replaced it. So how do you, okay, so, and now my business is like booming and my wait list is like freaking almost 1,000 people long, and it's just so amazing. So how do you do this? How do you find the negative beliefs? Well, you could ask yourself a couple questions. Some of my favorite questions to ask is just get a piece of paper and think. Remember, the 3 most important beliefs, the ones about you are the ones that are most important, but you have to find the sneaky ones about men and the ones about love and relationships. Those 3. So you can write I am statements. So like you can write I am whatever. Let yourself do a brain dump. Brain dump it all. And here's the biggest, most important thing that you need to do. The 3 biggest emotions that you need to be feeling during this time where you're doing this brain dump is curiosity, interest, and compassion. Why? If you are judging what's going on this paper, your brain is not going to it's not going to give you all the information that's inside. And you need to create a space where it's okay to just tell you all your negative stuff, right? If you get triggered by the things that you write down, your brain's going to stop and the exercise is not going to work. This has happened to dozens of my clients. A lot of my clients couldn't even do this exercise. I had to give them the belief that this exercise was safe to do before they even did the exercise, because they didn't like seeing all the negative things on paper. It triggered them way too much, right? It made them feel really uncomfortable. So just look at it like curiosity, like, oh, that's interesting. I'm not a nice person, or I'm fat, or I'm whatever. These are the beliefs that you have about yourself, your self-concept, your self-identity. Have a brain dump, look at it with curiosity, interest, and compassion. Like, oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I just want to know. Look at it. Take the identity of a journalist. Like, I'm just collecting data. I'm just getting information. And you will be able to get a lot of stuff written down. Next, men are, relationships are. Love is, okay? Do these 4 exercises and get as much stuff written down, and just notice what you write. I want you to look at the negative ones. The positive ones, good, put on one side, the negative ones put on the other side. But I just want you to look at the negative ones, and I want you to ask yourself, is this belief probably keeping me from being in a relationship? One of the things that I noticed, that's a really, really sneaky belief. I wrote this down. Let me read it real quick. If there's conflicting beliefs in any of these areas, this is where the work needs to get done. You need to rewrite them with positive ones, right? You need to, and with new beliefs. Here's what beliefs are, guys. Beliefs are just thoughts you think a lot. Once you start thinking them over and over and over and over and over and over, it becomes a truth, and a truth is a belief for you, right? So like, let's say when I was younger, I used to believe like relationships are amazing. They're such a healthy space. They're so beneficial. They're so safe. I remember when I got my heart broken when I was 30. Oh my gosh, relationships changed after that. I literally was like, they can hurt you. They bring heartbreak, relationship. And I noticed that I changed, right? So it's really important to see if you have any conflicting beliefs. Some of you might think I am great. I don't have any negative beliefs about me, but they're all about men. Maybe you've been cheated on, betrayed, neglected, abused, whatever. If you have negative beliefs about men, you will never have a great relationship with a man. Never, ever. You've got to get rid of them. Remember, beliefs are just thoughts you think all the time. And if you think about them all the time, they become beliefs. They become truths to you. Okay. Think about, I remember like whenever if I made a mistake at work, I'd be like, oh, I'm not good at this job. And then if I make mistakes, I must not be good at this job. That's not even true. But because I was so insecure back then, I would think that belief over and over and over to the point where within a month or two, I would say, I'm not good at this job. I need to, then it became a fact. Like, I'm no longer a great legal secretary. I need to change and get another job that I'm good at. And I would quit jobs because I would tell myself, just because I made one mistake on some dumb little thing, oh, I must not be good at this. I must not be good at this. No, now I know mistakes don't mean that I'm not good at something. It's just, I need to find a new way of doing this, or I need to be more careful. I need to be more focused, whatever it is, right? But if you think a thought over and over and over, it becomes a belief. Here's one sneaky way of having a thought over and over and over that you don't realize you're doing that is creating negative beliefs. If you have a negative memory, a past experience, let's say you got cheated on. Let's say you walked in on something bad. Let's say you had a conversation with a boyfriend or a spouse or something, and it was really hurtful. It brought up so many negative emotions, and you constantly replay that memory in your mind over and over and over and over and over and over. I constantly tell my clients, don't play back negative memories. Why? Because your brain doesn't know the difference between it being true, like it happening right now, or you replaying a memory. It doesn't know. Right? If you have a negative, like if you always play the memory of you getting cheated on, or you walking in on your boyfriend, or let's just say something like that, right? Your brain starts believing, oh my gosh, I'm constantly getting cheated on by this guy. Like men are cheating. It's going to start believing John is a cheater, right? Let's say he just did it once, or it was a mistake, or just something, right? But if you constantly think about it, your brain will start believing he is a cheater, and now it will see him as a big threat, and it will not let you get close to him again. You have to not let yourself think of negative memories over and over and over, because it becomes a negative belief. Okay, so this is how you do it. So you just start finding all the negative beliefs, and the way to replace them is think of the opposite positive belief. Okay, that you want to believe. So let's say you believe that. Let's say you believe that you want a secure, masculine, successful husband, okay? And but there's a part of you that you found that you believe that successful, masculine men don't want me. If that's a negative belief, because if you want that but you believe this, remember, they're conflicting, they're contradicting. Whichever one is stronger is the one that wins. And if you don't have that thing that you want, it's more often, oftentimes and more often than not, it's because you believe this one more, right? This kind of man wouldn't want a woman like me. So instead, now you know, I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that this kind of man would want a woman like me. So you can just write it for the positive affirmative, right? Successful, emotionally available, secure men love women like me. And just write that down. And you can reprogram your subconscious by writing down these beliefs over and over and over every day, and picture yourself with that kind of man. Again, remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality or a thought. It doesn't know the difference. So if you constantly see yourself with that type of man, you will attract him, and your brain will start saying, oh, it's safe. These men totally want me, right? And there's a lot of ways to program your mind. I believe writing it down. You guys, if you saw my 2025 goal list, it's 5 pages long, and I write it every single day. I have a digital notepad, like this is called a Remarkable. Every single morning after I take my girls to school, I come back, get my cup of coffee, and I will write down I copy my 5 pages of what the goals that I'm working on, and I write them in the present moment affirmative. So I'll say, I own a beautiful 5-bedroom house in the city that I want to own a house in, right? I have my private podcast studio and office inside my house. Each of my girls have their own room, da 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 da. And I have all of my personal and professional goals on 5 pages, and I write them every day. And I picture it every single day, and I feel all the good feelings that I am going to feel when I have that reality. Why is this important? Because your brain doesn't know the difference between the two. So, and that's all you have to do is write down the affirmative, right? That you want to believe, and then write it down over and over and over. And then you can, within a couple weeks or a couple months, I say do it until those things start manifesting in your life, and you will see that you will not have resistance around doing the things that you need to do to make those things happen. Okay. For example, one thing I wanted to do was drink a lot of water and take supplements. For some reason, taking pills, I used to tell myself that pills make me gag, that they taste gross, that I'm not somebody who takes vitamins. No, I needed to take this L-methylfolate because I have this gene mutation that I needed to correct or just like supplement for. I wanted to take NAD. I take beef liver supplements. I take like all these amazing supplements because I'm getting older and I just want to stay looking youthful. And to me, pills were really hard to take. That's what I believed. And I wrote down, like, it's so easy for me to take vitamins every single day. It's important. I feed my body the nutrients that it needs, and it's healthy and vibrant, and I'm staying in shape. And I've managed to do that. And every day every day that I eat my first meal, I always take my vitamins without fail. Ask my sister, her and I lived together for a while, and she saw me every time I ate lunch I never, ever skipped taking my vitamins. I was never like that before. And all because I started affirming it and writing it down every day. Okay. So you might be saying, Anabell, so this is what you do in Segura? Like, you help me find the negative beliefs and you help me replace them. And then that's how I'm going to get a guy. Yes. And it sounds simple, right? But you have to understand that some of the best things in life, the only reason you're not having it is because your internal reality doesn't believe that it's possible. And so many people work instead on symptoms, your behavior, your thoughts. You work on your feelings, when those things, your behaviors, your thoughts, and your feelings are a symptom of your beliefs. So some people say, I'm going to start working and doing things really hard. And it's like, no, you don't have to take action. It's more about your belief systems. When you change your beliefs, the actions are easy. And then most people say, I'm going to start working out. And it's like, if you don't believe that working out is going to lead to weight loss, like for example, I had a client that believed that it's impossible to lose the last 30 pounds that she wanted to lose. And because she believed that, she could never lose the last 30 pounds. Never. She could never lose it until she worked with me. I helped her find, and listen, my process is really, really unique. I studied behavior change and the subconscious mind. I studied so many amazing modalities, and I figured out a way it's the most amazing framework that helps you, anybody, find these hidden beliefs. And even if you can't find them, in the coaching program, because we meet every week, I have a way of being able to get it from people. Women are always coming to me and say, oh my God, I don't know how you did it. You can sometimes get your foot off the brake. And when somebody else is asking you questions, it helps a little bit better. So sometimes your own defenses keep you from getting the beliefs because it knows you're going to change, and it doesn't want to change because change feels hard for us oftentimes. And I believe my framework is incomparable. It's unique. I've helped women make $80,000 in 6 months. I've helped women lose the last 40, 30, 50 pounds that they weren't able to lose. I don't like saying manifest, but attracting a partner that they couldn't have. I had a client that worked with me, and she told, we said, after the 3 months of working with me in February, which was just last week, you will attract a guy like the love of your life. And guess what happened? She literally met him 2 weeks prior before our work ending. And she's in love. They said, I love you within, like, I don't even know how fast. And she's like, I can't believe this happened. I'm like, yeah, I knew it would happen. Because one, my belief is so strong that I really help people believe at a different level because my belief concepts are so, so positive and so strong. But my framework it's so effective. People like doing it the hard way, and they want to work on behaviors. They want to work on their mindset. Your mindset is a result of your beliefs. And if you're trying to make yourself think something, no, like you have to work at the belief level. If you work at the root cause, everything else just like it just happens naturally. And your behavior is so easy, right? I started telling myself, I'm a runner. I run a couple miles a day and I run. Like it's very easy for me. And before I used to say, I can't run, I can't breathe. And then like I used to say all these lies. Now it's like, I'm a runner, which is crazy because I always wanted to be one. But I had sneaky beliefs that I told myself why I couldn't. And when I found them, removed them and replaced them, I was able to do it. So you can do this yourself. Another great thing that I do with my clients in Segura is I give them subconscious reprogramming audio tracks that are specific to their belief system, either the beliefs about themselves, beliefs about men, or beliefs about love and relationships. And they're 8-hour tracks, audio tracks that they listen to when they sleep, and your subconscious is getting reprogrammed as you sleep. They are, to me, game changer, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're trying to start a new business, especially if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to do something else other than just also like attracting a man that you want. But because they work on your self-concept and your self-concept, the beliefs you have about yourself, to me, are the most important ones. Remember in Matthew 22:39, where God says, the most important commandment is love God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. And then the second one is love your neighbor as yourself, meaning you can't love your neighbor unless you love yourself first. And you have to love yourself so that it's easier to love other people. And then you will attract more love if you love yourself. But so many of my clients have sneaky, hidden, deep, negative beliefs about themselves. They don't even realize are literally keeping them from creating all the things that they want in their life. Okay. And your self-concept to me is the most important. The beliefs about yourself are the most important. These audio tracks they're 3. That to me alone is a game changer. I sell them on my website. I just put them up for sale. If you cannot afford to work with me in Segura, because Segura is not a small investment, because it's so transformative, it's permanent, it's fast, it's effective. You are in a community of like deep, what I call immersion. When you're immersed in something, you learn, it's like a language, right? If you're talking about it all the time, you learn the language. When you learn positive self-talk about men, about yourself, and about relationships, you get to that new level of belief, and your reality changes. That's why Segura is such an important community to be a part of. Even marriage material, it's only $37 a month. And when you're around other women that are always talking about, becoming the best version of themselves, creating the relationship of their dreams, believing that men are good people and that men are a benefit and they're really beneficial for your life, you start believing that too, and your beliefs change, right? It's so beneficial. So if you're interested in programming your subconscious mind for your beliefs about yourself, beliefs about men, and beliefs about love and relationships while you sleep, if you can't afford to work with me and you want to at least get these audios, and trust me, do each one for 21 days. You guys, time's going to go by anyways. If you do 3 weeks on the beliefs about yourself, that one to me is the most important. I do that one every single night. I forgot who I was telling this the other day too, that my daughter was sleeping with me and she could hear because they're on my voice. And the affirmations are just so beautiful. And my daughter was like, Mommy, why can't I hear you talking? And I was like, oh, it's the audio that she's like, oh, I like hearing your voice. I think I want to put that in my iPad so I can listen to it when I'm with Daddy. And I was like, yeah, imagine my kids are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine their self-concepts are going to be so high. But if you want these audio tracks, click below. I'm finally selling these. I only had these for my one-on-one clients, and then I put them in Segura, and now I'm selling them because I want you guys to be able to change your deep beliefs about yourself. I want you to create the life that you want, create the relationship that you want, trust men again. Women, we need men. We need relationships. We need partnership. We are a big part of women is we're externally motivated. Our relationships, our connections, and our community are really important. When those aren't good, we can feel really, really down. We are made to be in connection. The brain is wired for connection. And when we don't have that connection, we can feel really down. And so Segura is such a great place for that. But romantic relationships are just as beneficial. I don't want you to go around believing that the world is full of bad men. Men are not bad. Whenever I see women they write messages and comments on my posts, I'm just like, oh my God, I can tell. I'm like, oh, you think so? If men are narcissists, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you need this work so bad. And I just pray for them all the time. But you want to walk around believing that the world is safe, that men are good, that you're a good person. Otherwise, I remember, oh man, last year was so hard when I walked around believing that I was a liability, that I was bad, that I was a mistake, that I was a bad person. My business took a hit, my parenting. It was just so painful. I never want anybody to experience that. And if you are experiencing something like that, you should, one, join Segura. And if you can't, save up for it. And then two, in the meantime, get I call it the Trust Trilogy. It's the 3 audio tracks on I trust myself, I trust men, and I trust love and romantic relationships. There's nothing negative that can come from believing that you are a great person, that men are good, and that relationships are good. Okay. If you even had that thought, just notice that. That means you need these audio tracks. They're only $75. Normally you guys are $150. I have them at 50% off right now. I don't know when I'm going to put the price up again, but if you can't afford to work with me, at the minimum, get those, okay? And then report back to me how you're feeling. It sounds simple, yes, because God made our brain pretty simple. We just complicate things and try to make them hard, okay? So I definitely recommend that you get those audio tracks or join Segura, because Segura opens up in a couple days. And if you're interested in rewiring, finding these deep negative limiting beliefs about yourself, about men, and about relationships, because remember, if there's any conflicting ones, you will not get the relationship of your dreams. I invite you to work with me in Segura. It is transformational. It's a 16-week program. I'm going to be putting out a video in just 2 days so you can get all the details about what's inside Segura. But I shared a lot today in this episode about what's inside. We transform, we focus on 3 main belief systems: beliefs about yourself, about men, and about relationships and love. And we completely transform them, find all the sneaky ones. My process is proprietary. It's amazing. It's fast. That is something that if you can't find them, I will help you find them. And there's 2 Segura packages. There's Segura and Segura Plus. Segura Plus comes with some one-on-one work with me. And so if you want personalized and private work alongside the group, Segura Plus is perfect for you. So click below to get information. Get on the wait list right now if we're not enrolling right now. It'll always tell you when we're enrolling. If it goes to wait list, then that means, we're not enrolling right now. But if we are, it'll give you access to join. Okay. So click below to get the Trust Trilogy, the subconscious reprogramming audio tracks. If you want to start changing right now and start seeing the transformation of self-concept work, of work on trusting yourself, on trusting men and trusting relationships, it is the biggest game changer. It literally took me out of a depression. It made me earn money again. It made me feel confident and soft and at peace. I was able to let go of just be at peace with the change and the divorce and everything. Especially if you're going through heartbreak and you want to start dating again, and you're noticing that you keep attracting men that aren't good or they're emotionally unavailable. Remember, your external reality is a reflection of your beliefs, of your internal beliefs. Whatever is without is so within. So if you're noticing that all men, all these men, they whatever, if you're just meeting guys that are emotionally unavailable, they tell you that they're not ready for a relationship, or they ghost you, or if it's good, but then they're all a reflection of what's inside. And what's great about the process in Segura, the belief change framework and the open heart blueprint, specifically the whole process in Segura, is that we not only work on those 3 belief concepts, but there's 5 other main transformative concepts that we work on in addition to the beliefs about yourself, men, and relationships. Because these are skill sets that I believe that you need in order to make long-lasting relationship, and I'm going to talk about them in the next episode. Download the trilogy audio files because the price will be going up soon. When you join Segura, you get them. They're part of Segura, and I create new ones almost every week because every time I'm talking to my clients, I'm always figuring out that there's different ones that they need, really specific ones to certain beliefs. And I always want to make them really, really specific. And if you work with me one-on-one, you get personalized affirmations. We find the negative beliefs as specific ones for you, and then we make the affirmations very specific to your personalized negative beliefs that you have. So I'd love to work with you. You deserve this work. If it feels like something that you need, it's because your soul is calling for this work. I hope to see you inside, and click below to get the subconscious audio files. I'll see you next week.